Next up, we're going to be watching more of QosmicVoid's Shocking Value of Shock Value, The Coffin of Andy and Leyley, Part 1. We just got to some of the kids' past, where they decided to play Hide the Body. Did it start that way? No. Did it end that way? Yes. And since everyone in chat during the live stream is so adamant that it's going to be fine, this is great, we want to see what you do next. Do the thing, Airier. I'm terrified with whatever is coming next, because QosmicVoid, the person who is doing this video, who's made this entire thing, what is going to become a series, they're laughing their ass off in chat. I'm not saying it's an indication that I'm about to do something I will regret. I'm saying I already know it's an indication that it's something I'm going to regret. Let's get started before I outthink it and maybe run away screaming.
Ashley?
Back in the waking world, Andrew wakes Ashley up, mostly to vent about what they just did with the whole consumption of a person thing.
Yeah.
He's more affected by it than Ashley is. It's interesting to note that throughout this scene, Ashley claims that they were both in total agreement when it came to doing what they did, but that's not exactly true, is it? Certainly doesn't come across that way, at least, because Ashley gaslit Andrew into the entire escapade.
I mean, on the other hand, starving to death. On the other hand, if the parasites in the water is a real thing, who knows? Maybe reality is whatever the fuck up they want it to be. And that is not a misspeak on my case. I do mean it's the fuck up.
She was the one who, out loud, commented on the body being meat, claiming it was just an observation. But when Andrew actually followed through on a pretty clear implication, she twisted the conversation into it being him that was suggesting it. But okay, let's go with Ashley's version of events for a moment, and say that she was just purely following along with Andrew's implicit suggestion.
You know, they've kind of hinted and shown how she does something and he just follows along because he's a wet blanket, I think the term is. But now she's just flat out gaslighting him into the things she wanted to do. And I honestly don't get the point, other than she just likes being manipulative. The problem being, would any of that matter? Because she doesn't really need to manipulate him. He kind of just does it anyway. It's kind of like trying to manipulate your computer. I was like, okay, it's going to do what you have it do regardless, and then have a blue screen of death because it's going to do that regardless as well. I don't get the point of it. This guy doesn't have enough him to be manipulated. I don't see it, and I'm probably about to find out more. Yeah.
She then pressed the issue, asking if they were going to do it or not, basically forcing him to make a split-second decision right then and there. In either case, she put the impetus onto him to make the call and is now giving him a hard time for actually going along with it and being impacted by it.
And I'm assuming she's doing it because she just likes screwing around with him, and that's the entire point of it. Because from a moral standpoint, starving to death and there's a guy you did not kill, it's not actually a horrible moral decision. It's disturbing. It's really fucked up. But morally, it's not nearly as bad as the things they have already done. And we are in part 1 of what it will be a series. So if I can already say that definitively, oh boy, when we learn more about them, it's only going to get worse.
No, she's even just straight up mocking him throughout all of this.
Yeah, because they're
now,
assholes.
Granted, I do agree with her that they didn't really have much of a choice.
But
still, how she's going about getting him to just accept this is noteworthy.
yeah.
And this is the kind of thing that she does more than once throughout the story, making it quite clear that it's not something she's doing by accident. She's doing it quite deliberately. Ashley's able to crack jokes about it and indulge in constant sarcasm. Meanwhile, Andrew is mostly just kind of disturbed by the whole affair. In a sequence that could almost be called wholesome if we hadn't just eaten a person and dreamed about locking a child in a crate, Ashley lets Andrew rest with her and the two of them talk at length about what precisely is wrong with them. Ashley calls Andrew Andy, and rather than just telling her to stop that and that they aren't kids anymore, he straight up bites her in response. And then tells her to stop and that they aren't kids anymore. Ashley reminisces about when they were kids though, and
I can see how this would be really cute if it wasn't for the biting part. There's definitely more fuck-uppery going on than I was aware of, isn't there? Half the reason I have no real way to understand this game is because of how it seems to be delivered, where you're seeing the ending effect of the kids effectively being given a death sentence. and that it's other people in the area as well. But then you find out earlier on, they were already monstrous, except it's in the form of a dream. And if there is actually something fucking with their mind, how much of that is real? I don't know. I'm assuming, if anything, they might be censoring it. If only because what Cosmic has already talked about the creator doing has been so much more immediately grotesque that is my biggest concern. That, oh God, maybe there'll be another part coming out that hasn't even been published yet that is somehow more fucked up. Is that the case? I don't know, and I'm afraid to find out. I have a feeling Cosmic knows, and I'm okay with him suffering with that knowledge just a little bit longer before I have to share in it.
Would go on, quote, adventures, Andy and Leyley something or other, and implores him to just think about this whole mess as another one of those. The two of them decided enough is enough.
What if they're just going to turn out to be in hell, and this is their hell as each other?
Like they should have done months ago. The fact that they chopped up bodies now in their freezer helps a fair bit, considering that if anyone finds out about it, they're almost certainly screwed and ending up in prison.
So
honestly, prison would probably be an easier one because they're forced to give you meals here, and there's already wardens. So at this point, that might be a better option. Or they'll just not do anything because they don't care, and you're still going to die.
you want to escape not only this quarantine, but the consequences of our actions as well?
Preferably, yeah.
I love you, Andy.
Shove that Andy junk up your ass already!
My God, I don't love you that much.
Oh, you make me want to kill myself.
Good voice work, and I'm glad he did credit the people who got the really good voice on this. But it's a 2023 game. All of this isolation in a house you can't leave definitely feels different. I'm trying to think what this game would feel like before 2020, because everything after 2020 feels very different. Like, this would be a very different game. Not if nothing changed, it would feel incredibly different. But there's that implicit understanding of this is what isolation feels like for everyone else other than me. My general life actually had literally no effect whatsoever during COVID, except more people were able to make D&D games. So technically, it got easier to be me during COVID. Hi, I'm an internet nerd who doesn't have a life. Yeah, it didn't actually change. That is actually sadly true. So I'm not the right person to ask about that, but even I get that concept of you can't really leave the house now. I mean, the difference being, didn't do that anyways, but not having a choice made it different. For other people who actually did that and touched grass, that would be very different. And I guess I almost want to feel weirder about it, except understanding just that little bit makes everything feel weirder than it should, because there's that implicit, you know where they're coming from as the starting point of the game. And I think that has to be intentional, but I'm not entirely sure what is the right way to look at it yet.
Diving down the balcony is just too romantic for you. The pillow hits you in the face so hard you see stars.
Come morning, they wake up as one does, apparently feeling mighty better. Despite having decided that they're going to bust out of this joint, they don't really have any clue how they're going to go about doing that. Since none of them
Have you tried breaking the door?
Over the last few months, they look at the ritual that the neighbor was doing. As Andrew points out, he was successful up until the point he lacked an offering. Apparently demons don't think much of humans, so they only do deals when it's quick and easy, and the best thing to offer is a human soul.
I'm gonna get a soul a little stuck in here.
What are you looking at?
Oh, nothing.
Ashley?
I'm assuming one of the endings is literally just sacrificing one or the other. Yeah, probably. Also, Valerian, how can you someone so hard with a pillow? I'll be honest, I've seen some incredibly hard pillows. That doesn't even sound weird to me.
Ooh, that's not ideal.
Still alive and kicking, are you? You've been quiet lately, pal. I'm getting a little worried here.
They're actually worried?
Yeah, hi, hello? One of my guys isn't answering. The weirdo one. I think he croaked. It's just a B-type anyway. Fine. I'll check it after my round.
Well, they found the bodies.
So we've
Or the
broken
future
into
body.
another room. Said room is covered in blood, with satanic rituals on the floor. No, this does not look great. This looks quite bad, actually. One mad rush to cover up what looks like a murder follows.
Why does it immediately go to lick it clean again? That's the second time that's come up. Not so much about the entire blood thing, but more that it's the second time they're specifically bringing up cleaning and licking at the same time. It's just weird that it happened twice. I know it's probably intentionally to make the audience more freaked out, but I'm also wondering, that's probably something that the artist, both, the creator was very much okay with. Just going to throw it out there. It seems like one of those very poorly hidden things.
Where we get told to
Was
grab
the same clip apparently according to Cosmic?
We witness Andrew attempting to negotiate
was two
a
different
trade
instances.
of smut for noodles as a distraction to give Ashley enough time to cover everything up. Sure, why not? We clean up the blood, and Andrew yells at the guard who's coming over, and Ashley ducks into the closet.
Greetings and salutations!
Wait, they actually come in? Oh, shit. I'm actually surprised about that. Does that mean if they wanted to just randomly get someone else to eat, they could just not respond to the guard and he would come in?
Huh? Anybody home? Oh, great. Another suicide. What the? How did you get in here?
Magic. And this is Andy taking action she didn't force him into. Proving that they are definitely two peas of the same pod. The same incredibly fucked up pod.
Andrew doesn't seem too pleased with you right now. You wonder if it's a good time to tell him none of this is your fault.
Come on then, Leyley. Let's go play.
With that, we are officially past the point of no return.
The warden.
I mean, he was intentionally starving you to death, so this is... I'm going to disagree with Cosmic. Unless there were options, this isn't part of the mainline story where you have no options yet. This doesn't really feel like you've gone too far because you're starting from intentionally starving you to death, so it's not really morally horrible yet. That said, I will not be surprised in the slightest if the next flashback shows, oh no, there were options, you made the wrong ones already, and let's find out just how fucked up these two are. Because I'm assuming that's where it's going to start. Or if there actually were options, we just didn't know them because of how Cosmic is telling the story, which I don't think is the case, but I could be wrong.
Is very dead.
Yeah.
Oh, you've done it now, Andy. You've actually killed a man. Like, directly.
I mean, technically they did that directly. He was the one who put the little lock in the box with the girl with asthma who's already choking, so he's just a little more direct than the last time that we know of.
Yep.
It was a little surprise here. So, where's your mental breakdown?
I'm saving it for later. Lay off.
Yeah? We'll see how you sleep after this one.
Ashley, are you trying to provoke him?
Yes. I mean, yes. I mean, that's not even a question here. Unironically, her entire character, as we can see already, is make bad decisions, gaslight her brother into making worse decisions, and then when he actually makes worse decisions on his own that you didn't even provoke, have him do even worse ones. She's the instigator as her entire character design. Ugh. Someone in the chat. Hammer's mentioning Cosmic should call, this is why you call Saul Goodman. Yeah, I'll be honest, going to jail would still be the option for them. That is probably the safest. But according to Cosmic, also, the perspective of being arrested is what he meant for no turning back. I mean, yeah, but they were being intentionally killed, so it doesn't really carry too much weight on my end. It's like they're in a situation that's horrible and is not their fault, but every step of the way, because of everything around them, because of how horrible they are, I'm wondering at what point does it become their fault? And I'm assuming the answer is going to be as soon as we have a flashback to know a little more about the situation. And I fully expect it will be their fault. I don't have that information yet, but I'm expecting it just based on how they're acting. on how Andy tries to act like he's not the monster, but then immediately went to murder. And how Leyley tries to act like she's okay with this all, but she was shocked seeing him kill someone in front of her and then immediately went to blow it off. So she's definitely someone who doesn't deal well and very much hides a lot of everything behind the sarcastic asshole persona. The problem is, I don't think either one of them is wearing the persona so much as they are it. And there's going to be a lot more fucked up shit they do, because if this was the extent of it, this wouldn't be that bad. It's horrible, but a lot of it is understandable and would not justify the backlash. And considering how much everyone in chat is really interested in seeing when I break, I don't think we're there yet.
Actually, I am not in the mood for your shit right now.
I
Looting the body, we find some room keys, and we can make our way the hell out of this place.
Before we go, Ashley.
Huh.
Before they head out, Andrew wants to make sure that he and Ashley are on the same page. Because he's just axed that dude, whatever justification they may have had in the eyes of the law and basically anyone else has gone completely out the window.
Yeah, this is one of those parts where I'm just wondering about the game's context itself, because that actually seems incredibly dumb of the "we're letting you starve" point. This is probably one of those, it's an internal conceit of the game and you just don't look at it too hard unless it becomes a major issue later. Because actually worrying about, hey, what's the law going to say if we killed a cop, versus they're already giving you a death sentence. Seems like one is, doesn't really nullify the other, but it's not going to make the reaction of, why aren't you dead, not be the first option, as opposed to, oh my god, you killed a man. Which they would only find out after they already killed you, because they're already trying to kill you.
And Andrew wants Ashley's guarantee that she isn't going to breathe a word about anything that they've done here. They're not going to contact anyone that they knew before they got locked up here. Not their friends, not their parents, no one. Ashley is nonchalant about it. She
Do they
doesn't
have
care
anyone
all
else?
that much, and she didn't even have a plan for what they were going to do when they got out of here.
I'm assuming more
And
murder?
that just irritates Andrew.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
If you're gonna be this flippant about this, it isn't the authorities you need to worry about.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you threatening me?
I am not going to jail just because you think of yourself as impervious to consequences.
I think this is actually one of the takes I might have that's just disagreeing with the actual construction of the game itself, where they're so worried about going to jail, but the entire point of it is, why are they worried about jail when they're already essentially in jail, except jail doesn't come with the implicit, you're going to die. If they were still getting fed, that would be different. If they were not, or like it was just bad, but the entire, you are going to die as the baseline starting understanding of the game, I feel like I'm missing information where that, it's like when someone's stabbed and then you apologize to them for not saving them as the person who stabbed them stole their car. It's like, I'm sorry, dead body. I was unable to stop the person from stealing your baggage. It's like there's a disconnect. And I get where they're going. I go, it's like showing that he's freaking out. She's like, he's an asshole right here because he's very much going to make the death threat. And she's freaking, I feel like, I feel like I'm missing something. And CosmicVoid is going, I am? Yeah, that would make sense.
So you're going to take this to your grave, even if I have to put you in there myself.
You don't scare me, Andrew.
Which is even better that she has that line, considering we just saw him scaring her when he murdered someone in cold blood without her antagonizing.
Don't give me a reason to.
Andy, it snows in hell the day I'm afraid of you! Now back the fuck off! Who do you think you're talking to?
Also, it might be snowing outside.
Andrew ends up backing down and blaming it on the stress, and Ashley points out that there's a corpse in their freeze with her fingerprints on it. She's not exactly in a rush to tell the world about what's happened here. And more than that, none of the other people in their lives even tried to help them, so Ashley doesn't really give a damn about any of them at this point. And she doesn't even care. That's fine, because Andy is here, even though he feels like threatening her for some reason. Andrew apologizes, they laugh about it, and off we go like nothing ever even happened.
I'm almost certain the entire vibe I get of them as being codependent monsters is probably accurate. And while I'm being told they're going to have context later, at least right now, early on, just from what we've seen, if there's no other options you can take, this is something on a writing level I actually would have issues with. Not a storytelling in the full sense, it might come up later, but you don't actually know that there is a context. So what they're acting like doesn't feel like it's the right choice. It feels like someone's freaking out over the wrong things. And I'm going to stand by that because the context to understand isn't there yet. It isn't horrible. It isn't the worst thing. But, well, let's put it this way. Hurricane in the chat is saying, in their case, prison is probably a death sentence for them. But the thing is, their starting point is, you are going to die. We are making sure you die. That wouldn't really change anything. So argue about how they're not going to prison doesn't matter because they were already in a death sentence. Nothing changes. And that's why I have an issue with the entire delivery of this. This is not me saying the story isn't good. Honestly, it's fucked up, but it's well done. It's just, this is one of those, I think something's missing. And maybe it's because I didn't play the game and that wasn't there, and it's just something Cosmic didn't go over because it just wasn't important enough. That's entirely possible. But it feels like this is missing that little, okay, why are you more afraid of prison than the literal death sentence you already had? And that you understand, and that the game has made sure you see is a death sentence. Yeah, and according to Cosmic, it's not literally death sentence, you just prefer not to be dead. Except if you're being starved and the guy's joking about it and not giving you food. From their perspective, it looks like a death sentence. Now, if it comes out, probably, that it was a death sentence, we're just waiting for you to starve so the parasite dies, oh yeah, then it would make more sense. But, yeah. As soon as you have what looks like being starved to death, it looks like a death sentence. So it just doesn't quite work. Now, it could be that they explicitly never mentioned it was a death sentence. They just showed it, which is why I'm believing that's more important. Because if you're passing out from hunger, the guy's joking about not giving you food, and they did before, it's like showing, yeah, no, you know what's happening. This just, it feels like just one of those tiny little issues. Now, I should probably mention, while I'm harping on this, this is a 1 in terms of issues with the story. I can ignore that. This is the equivalent of just saying a little minor plot hole. It's like looking at Lord of the Rings and going, what about the Eagles? Shut the fuck up. So if anyone in the chat who's responding that way right now, perfectly justified. It's me just being a nitpicking asshole. That's all there is to it.
Finally the hell out of this room and into the complex proper. Well, that was a worry.
I absolutely love their doormat. I want that. I legitimately just want that. Also, the guy already had the circle out front of his door. Weird things to write.
Worrying interaction, wasn't it? As they leave the room, they find that all
Was
that
this a wooden board?
in was a wooden board, as is the case for every other room in the building. Attached to them,
Except for the out-of-order elevator, the open door. This one's already dead. That one isn't, but there's a door sign on it. To be fair, wooden boards across the door is actually a really effective way to do it, especially for people who are literally starving.
pieces of paper. Their door has 2XAB, and others have 2XA, 1XO, or 1XO, but it's crossed over. In the nearby security office, they find a key to another room, as well as documents detailing the harvesting and selling of organs, which seems to have been the purpose of the quarantine to begin with, explaining how this entire event started in the first place. So I'm going to be honest. Considering that they're being held here completely unjustly, for this, them having to axe that guard comes across to me as being entirely fair play. This isn't like a pandemic where people are at risk of infection if you don't remain indoors, and thus making the situation worse for...
Also, I'm not entirely sure if Cosmic was aware of this, but at least because he's British, but in America, everything he's describing right now, people thought was why the pandemic was being treated that way. It's like, we don't care about people dying all the time. Why would they start now? Okay, one, in America, that actual is an argument that holds some weight. But anywhere else, that's insane. People believed everything Cosmic just said about this is actually organ harvesting. They're here to take our blood or our organs or anything like this. They want our skin. That is unironically something people believed was happening. I don't think this creator did that. I just find it hilarious that that is kind of how things turn out. Yeah.
Literally everyone involved, including yourself, this is a manufactured crisis that is being used to traffic organs. At that stage, there's not a whole lot of things that I would consider unethical in the pursuit of getting the ever-loving hell out of here.
But
On the nearby security camera, they spot another guard and realize he's armed. So now a plan is needed for how to get around him. They head on up to the next floor and they find a lady who is just fine with the quarantine because she gets to play games all day. Honestly, can't fault her logic
yeah, no, yeah, that's fair. If they're actually getting fed, fuck it.
there. And she's actually being fed. It's pretty heavily implied / directly stated by Ashley, because of course it's her, that she's letting the guards screw her in exchange for food. And like, hey, I overlooked actual, literal cannibalism for these two chuckle shits. I'm not gonna give this woman a hard time for doing what she's gotta do. I ain't judging.
Yeah.
Ashley complains about not being fed while the lady was, while Andrew flatly jokes it's because she isn't pretty enough.
I'm going to give it maybe 5 more lines of text before she runs in there to kill this lady herself.
Ashley asks if he thinks that the lady is pretty, and Andrew is forthright and exasperated about it. Boy, I am not loving these parallels. So the plan becomes to use
Oh, they didn't immediately kill her.
on the first
That was
guard
later,
to
probably.
have the lady lure the second guard into the cultist room and summon the demon to take their soul. That lets them get rid of him and make an opening so that they can book it on out of here. You might have guessed that the lady might not be too keen on helping those two after their last visit. And you'd be right.
Sorry. There's one last thing we forgot to ask you.
What? I thought I made myself clear. What do you want?
I'm assuming there's a knife in here. Just maybe a little damage. Just a little violence that's completely their fault.
Get off me!
Called it.
Remember how I said there's not a whole lot that I would consider unethical in this situation?
This would be one of them. And further cementing that they're absolute monsters. Still don't get the jail part, though, because I guess it's just them not being entirely rational, and it's just not really an important part of the game. You just roll with it.
Somehow, these two have found one of the only things I would consider unethical and have decided to go for it. They get the lady to invite the guard into the cultist's room and
Yeah. I'm assuming this is all still part of the scripted section where none of your choices matter. Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I would like this game. I think the art style is fine. And the dark shit, while I don't like it, that's fine. I don't like that you're scripted to do so many horrible things without it being your choice to do so many horrible things. This is actually just a personal opinion. When a game lets you do horrible things, I think it has more impact when you can choose to do it. It's why the death run, like the just genocide run in Undertale, is so impactful. It's your choice. Every step of the way, you don't have to do it. And you can actually step back multiple times. But because you can play the entire game unlike that, when you make the choice to do horrible things, it's your choice. Here, it's scripted. I know the entire thing is you're playing as a horrible person, but if the entire thing about this visual novel is that it gives you the choice to see just how far you can go and like lets you suffer your consequences, I just don't like that kind of character design. I wish this was actually a part where you had other options, and this is one of them. Because when you take this, hell, even if this is the best option out there, just having any other option would make this so much worse. And yes, I am literally arguing this isn't horrible enough. I'm aware how weird and fucked up that is.
Ashley heads off to finish the ritual, while Andrew keeps the lady quiet. Ashley finishes setting up the ritual and the demon arrives, and once the guard shows up, Ashley offers up his soul to the demon, and the demon accepts.
Now who's it going to take next?
So, well, how is it?
Human with tar-colored soul. I give you this.
Tar-covered soul.
But an unidentifiable small object.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it for an occasional clairvoyant dream. To gauge the troubles ahead.
I'm assuming the troubles ahead is yes, and the dream is just someone laughing at you. If that doesn't happen at least once, I would be a little disappointed.
You decide not to linger on the fact that your soul is apparently a viscous, pitch-black mess. Yes, you already
No, I'm not entirely surprised about that. That actually seems perfectly normal.
knew that.
Ashley loots the second guard, gets his key, his gun, and happily remarks to herself that she's going to shoot the lady.
Oh, he...
God damn it, Andrew, what have you done?
Sadly for her, Andrew has beaten her to it. According to him, he let go, thinking that she wouldn't try anything, and she made a move for the nail gun. Ashley, being the bastion of rational thought that she's demonstrated herself to be throughout all of this, straight up accuses him of planning on making a move on the lady.
Are you unaware that the lady is dead?
I guess she said no.
I'm not sure which is worse, that she's just teasing him, or that he might actually be into that. And with how I've heard everything about this game, I'm glad the sprite still shows clothes. Let's put it that way.
Jesus Christ, that is horrific. This conversation gets intense. Ashley is throwing out accusations.
They're just
left,
horrible
right,
people.
and
They're
center,
literally
and
horrible.
Andrew calls her out. The reason Andrew's girlfriend broke up with him was because Ashley was harassing the ever-loving hell out of her.
Yep.
Ashley's response? Not denial, just a mockery that they even told Andrew in the first place.
So it really was you.
Yeah, all I did was weed out a quitter for you. You're welcome.
She says she wouldn't need to do this if Andrew didn't bail on her whenever she needed him. Andrew retorts that every time he's meant to meet up with someone, Ashley suddenly has a crisis that she expects him to drop everything over.
But you bloody love it here, where I can't so much as take a piss without you knowing.
And I bet you'd love it if I killed myself then.
I mean, honestly, with how many horrible things they've already done, it probably would be an improvement. But joking, slightly, not really joking aside, these characters are horrible enough that it might even be a joke. Yeah, they're just sick, horrible people who have done horrible things, who are codependent and massively manipulative on both sides. If it turns out that they're literally in hell and their punishment is each other, I would think that is a perfectly valid ending and would make sense because everyone would be suffering exactly what they deserve at that point. And they deserve each other, and I can already say that. Neither one of them is a good person, and they're horrible.
Hang on, what? Where did that come from? More and more, this conversation falls apart, and we are far beyond the point of what nerves and mental fatigue would explain. What we're seeing here is a glimpse into...
Also, I'm just going to pull up Cosmic's entire thing right now. I shall laugh when you understand how minor this is. That's the thing. I think it is minor. That's why it bugs me. The first couple kills, the one that's scripted because you have to act that way to save your sister, even if you're entirely fucked up, I can deal with. This and holding her at knife, I don't like it when big, important decisions are scripted. Because in games where they're about making choices, it feels like a bad mood on my part. But I guess that's the thing. You're not exploring a good character. You're exploring how horrible are you willing to get. And you have to know that these characters are irredeemable to start with.
The true nature of this relationship.
It doesn't frighten me. It just kind of annoys me, actually.
This conversation just completely spirals. Andrew makes
just
a comment
horrible.
about how he's just at her beck and call, like when they were kids. And Ashley argues that she has never once made him do anything. Every time he tries to get a word in, she interrupts him. The guilt tripping comes.
The weird part is, she's not wrong. I would fully believe she has never made him do anything. Guilt and manipulate, sure, but at the end, he still made those choices, and I fully believe that will be the way it goes. Because that is the most fucked up possible answer, and if it isn't done that way, it means he has some deniability. And I don't want him to have that because I don't think these characters deserve that. I'm arguing that this might be too nice to them otherwise. Yeah, I'm making the argument that they need to be more fucked up. And I'm sure we'll get to the more fucked up shit next.
Back. Andrew tries to leave, but Ashley blocks the way out. She says it's not her fault. She didn't lock them in here. She hasn't killed anyone. The cultist are either of the wardens. And when Andrew points out that she keeps making him do it for her...
That's the thing, though. She didn't. She would like it, but she didn't actually force it, which is why he's as horrible. And also why he's gaslighting himself as much as she's gaslighting him. Because he's also blaming her for all of the evil, because he doesn't want to face the consequences, where you can definitely tell that's projection, because he does want to face the consequences for the decisions he's made. Again, they're horrible, and I kind of like the dynamic. I just don't like that some of their decisions can be excused.
She retaliates that she hasn't made him do anything. She's all innocent. Andrew chose to do it. He chose to off the guard. He chose to do everything he's done here.
And guess what, Andy?
Don't.
You chose to lock me in that
Can't say the name?
with a fucking cunt choked. Cry yourself to sleep to that, Andy. My poor Andy.
Yeah.
That just came out of your mouth.
Oh, I'm not surprised in the slightest.
What?
This
It's
sounds perfectly like what I expect of
you
her.
You chose to do it, and you chose me.
He chose wrong.
You chose me! Me! You backpedaling fuck of a brother! You chose me! You did! You did!
So I guess we're not leaving here together.
You can't do it! you won't! You can't, because I'm the only one you can talk to.
The morally right choice is the one I know they won't make here, and that would be some things you don't talk about on YouTube. But let's be honest, yeah.
When you can't sleep at night,
Learning to
and
fly.
You can't take it. I'm the only one who can make it go away.
Fancy that. When you're the reason I can't sleep in the first place.
I would like to go now. With Andy. I'm ready to go now.
Go like that.
Of course not. I want to leave his apartment.
I wonder why
before
they can't
we
say
get
the name.
caught. With you. Can we go?
I'd like to go too, but the thing is, you're pissing me off so much right now. We go now and you'll just throw another fit later.
Yeah. And you're probably going to do something incredibly stupid and not have her to blame on it, which is probably why he puts up with it, because she's a nice excuse. She makes him worse, and he gets an alibi that no one but himself believes.
Yeah, I probably will. I'll make such a scene, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can risk it. Maybe I'll just end you here and be done with it. Well, if you can come up with a compelling reason not to, I won't.
Well, I already said.
There are sleeping pills for that.
Honestly, if your insomnia is that bad, they don't actually work. It's a very high bar, but he's fucked up enough. He might meet it.
Yeah. Okay, I got nothing. But I'd like to go with you. Very much. So if you plan on ditching me anyway, then fuck you. If it's not going to be just the two of us, then forget it.
Oh. And this is one of the reasons why, as horrible as this is, I do like the construction of this game. Just that little extra bruising around the collar. And probably indicating why the collar's there in the first place, because it's covering up exactly where the bruise would be. So this is probably a normal dynamic for them. I won't even be surprised.
Give a shit about. I'm glad she choked.
I know you are.
No one knows it was us, so what does it matter?
Well, that was intense, huh?
Honestly, yeah, this one felt a lot more accurate. And a lot of the issues I had with the previous guilt scene, this one feel way more useful because it's denial of agency, which is the main character's point right here. Sorry, I'm going to keep harping on this because this is a very important thing to me in game design. Denial of agency, when done for a single-player game with a linear narrative, is fine as long as the story justifies it. In games that are meant to show agency and let you show how bad things can get, or choose not to, whenever you decide not to give agency in a very important decision, I think that's a bad option. It takes away from the intent of the game. Here, the intent is, how fucked up can you get? And that just degrades the message. It's also why, oddly enough, while holding the knife to the neck, horrible decision because it denied agency to the characters. Whereas him acting on his own and probably lying about the reasoning he did it, when you're not the one controlling it, is denial of agency to the player, forcing you into a situation. And that I'm actually perfectly okay with. Yeah. Oh, and Cosmic, you just want to remind me none of these characters have inherent mental conditions? Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine with that. And I like it for the same reason I'm talking about right now. Giving a mental condition would give them an out. I want it to be a decision they make. So when you're acting as the character player, it's your decision. It's fucked up. But not making it fucked up is giving them an out. And that feels wrong. And also against the intent of the game.
I have to say, the fact that Ashley self-admittedly cannot give Andrew a good reason as to not end her right here and now is genuinely fascinating.
But also how she's looking off to the side, knowing it's not a big thing. She probably knows exactly how this is going to go already, because I'm assuming it's already happened.
She's got nothing to say in her defense here? Nothing. She spent so much of this chapter deflecting any blame that she may have had in any of the events that have played out. In her mind, Andrew chose to lock the girl in the crate when they were kids, and the demon got the guard, not her. Just, ignoring the fact that in both cases she was directly involved, and without her involvement, the first one of these two atrocities at the very least would never have happened.
Yeah, but that also kind of fits with both of them. They both take away to say it's not their fault while being completely at fault, and the other sees the other at fault, but not themselves. Again, they're just horrible. I completely agree with what Comics is saying, right? Wow, I just fucked up that wording. I agree with what Cosmic is saying right here. I just think it's a little more obvious.
But now that we're here, she's got nothing to say.
And again, I am assuming just because of that bruise image, showing how it perfectly covers it, this is something that's happened before. So she has nothing to say because she also isn't really worried.
What, she can't think of a good reason why Andrew should let her live? Now that is characterful dialogue. Choice is an interesting topic when it comes to this game.
Oh, he's actually bringing it up.
We'll talk about it before we're done.
God damn you, Cosmic! Unfortunately, the reason I'm saying goddamn him is because this is where I have to cut this one, because I know if I do, I will go way too long. And I would enjoy this because I enjoy having darker media exist, even if it's not my thing. I like there being the option. I don't want everything to be exactly what I want. I want things that I don't agree with, things that I don't always like, things that I would run away from screaming. This would be one. And I like it. But I have some issues with the design choices of the game so far that might turn out to be minor. A lot of it is just about agency in games. And I've been told that this is chapter 1. It's mostly a demo to let you learn the characters so you know their situation, and it's not that bad. So I guess if you're playing it as just as a visual novel with nothing else to it in the first chapter, I would be more okay with it. Except we have the information Cosmic made sure we knew about, knowing the previous games from this person, who a lot of the initial audience probably would have known about before he got way more popular. So they would know that this is a person who does, you can choose your options, and I will make sure to punish you for anything you do. But it's going to be your choice. And you can do as much fucked up shit as you want, but it's your choice. Have fun, Scout. I like that. And for just a demo first chapter, where the second chapter seems to be the best part about it, that would probably be more what I'd be interested in as an actual gameplay, where it feels less linear, less scripted, and more, now suffer the consequences of your actions. That would be better. Not always the right choice, but fits better with that understanding. And also, all of my critiques, if I went into this blind without knowing that the author, the person who created this, made a lot of games where it was open-ended, where you did get choices, where you could choose to be a monster or not, and it was that way, if I thought this was just a visual novel where you're seeing the story and there is no option to it, I would not have any of my current complaints. Everything I'm doing right now is a complaint based on the idea that there should be a choice. If there shouldn't be a choice, which is what the later chapters apparently are, okay, then my complaints are completely invalid. But if I go into this thinking it has one, that's where the issue becomes. It just feels wrong at that point. Unless there was some indication early on showing that this is just the prologue, which I don't think is the case, but I also just don't know enough about it. That's really my thoughts on the matter right now. It's good, but I think some of the issues being shoehorned fit for the characters, but aren't always the right option. And also, still, the entire jail thing is just a weird concern to come up later. Early on, before they knew they were going to starve to death, because the guard was joking about it with Leyley, and he knew, and they were starving to death, that would be different, but it just feels like that came at the wrong area. He should have had that breakdown much earlier on, before you kind of knew as a player that they were in a death sentence already. Or at least heavily suspected it, due to what Cosmic mentioned, was them explicitly passing out and doing very bad on camera and starving. That would be a very important time to do it. I think that's just a small issue. It's not really a big one. And again, it's the equivalent of the Eagles in Lord of the Rings. There's a rationale for why it's fine, and there's a rationale for why I should have ended the movie and just flown them to the end right away. The ending result, though, is it doesn't matter. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm being pedantic because I like to be pedantic and just overanalyze. And it's not a huge mark against the game. It's just one of those, it's maybe not the best choice, depending on how you look at it. And according to Cosmic in the chat, this is going to be so much more what chapters 2 and 3 are, which I will probably like a little more because of the decisions. Like is a strong word I'm not going to use, but be very interested in is probably a lot more accurate. Interested, if not liking it. Yeah. So if you haven't already, there's a link below to the original video down below. Hit it up. And if you happen to be here live, go bug Cosmic in the chat because I'm sure he did something to deserve it. See you in the next one. Adios.